If government is replaced by drug cartels and mafia, it is the public uprise of the society that becomes the hope of the future generation. Coming up, well, African National Congress has once again been exposed as one party that is fully involved in drug cartel. That, of course, was exposed by Honorable Dereleen James of ActionSA when she was questioning General Mkhwanazi. Well, most of us in South Africa is aware of the involvement of the ANC in corruption in South Africa, but each time such kind of confirmation is being mentioned, it always brings some chills down the spine of each and everyone who is listening. Listen to this.
And the speaker is Honorable James. Honorable James, you are 10 minutes. Start now.
Thank you, Chair. Also be kind to me. Thank you. General, thank you so much for being here today. I sit here and I thank God that they took your dockets. Because if they didn't take those dockets, we wouldn't have been privy to everything that you have told us. General, I'm going to get straight to the point because you said that we need to uncover the rot in South Africa, right? Everything has been asked in terms of the technical questions. All that is unfolding. It is not about that political killing stars team. I want to ask you, number one, you referenced Brian Mkhwanazi as being politically connected. For the sake of the record, to which party was he connected?
It is my belief that when Brian Mkhwanazi came public and he spoke about being a member of the African National Congress, when the Minister of Police said he's his comrade, meaning that he's a member of the African National Congress, from the records we have at hand on our side, we know him as a member, as a person that maybe used to be, maybe of late is no longer, but he used to participate and being a member within that African National Congress.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned that payments were made to the ministers, the ANC ministers' account for the guests to travel. You mentioned January 8th celebration. What is January 8th?
The payments were not made to the minister. The payments were made to the account that Mkhwanazi provided to Matlala in relation to the payment of the transportation accommodation of the guest of the minister to the January 8. January 8 is well-known gathering of the African National Congress that takes place the first week of January in a year, and I think it used to be done on the 8th of January. That's why I adopted the name. Although this was not on the 8th of January, it was the weekend after the 8th.
Thank you. You referenced political involvement by Chief of Staff in Kabinda, right? You've seen him wearing political T-shirts. Of which party?
Of the African National Congress.
Do you believe General Sibiya's appointment was politically driven? And if yes, by which party?
I wouldn't know from the records we have at hand that the appointment of General Sibiya might have been done with the omission of some crucial evidence that they were supposed to look at. But the appointment is done by the National Commission, and I don't know the National Commission of belonging to a political party, so I cannot associate the appointment of Sibiya with a political party.
I quote, "The country, South Africa, will burn," right? As we sit here today, do you believe that our country has been captured? And if so, by which party?
I won't say that the country has been captured by a party, but the country has been captured by criminals.
By criminals?
That are using politicians.
That are using politicians?
Yes.
Which party?
Oh, well, the ones that I know of are from the African National Congress. I don't know if there's others from the other parties.
You mentioned as well, I believe the citizens, the families and children of this country are worth fighting for. What drove you to say those utterances on the 6th of July? You also make mention of a bigger investigation. The bigger investigation here is drugs. Can you elaborate on that? And also when you say that you have done your analysis to show that many of the arrests that are being made, it is as a result. How did you do that analysis?
Honorable members, we as a police on quarterly basis release crime stats. Within our midst, we've got analysts that will conduct analysis about the crime that has happened. For every arrest we make, we conduct an assessment as to why, the question as to why did you do this? What led into this? And especially with the shooting, the majority of shooting incidents we have in KZN in the area of Inanda. There's always been that why question. Why these boys do what they do? They're involved in crime, they are killing, they are raping, they're doing all that. But what makes them to be like this? Yes, families might not control them, and until we realize that they don't do these things when they're sober. And they do these things when they're under influence. So there is this energy behind them that drives them to do what they do. When they smoke that crack cocaine, they become animals.
Yep. And even Brown Mkhwanazi himself confirms the involvement of some of these ANC top brass leaders with their families and wives in corruption, hardcore corruption.
We are about 438 members who are on the grace period, which is expiring at the end of October. And that I'll probably have to give you evidence before the end of this interview. I'm a member of the ANC, and I shall remain a volunteer of the African National Congress. That's the status. I would like to draw you to the attention of his actions. Previously, for example, when he went away with Vusi Keke, who was later convicted and sentenced. We cannot say he's a criminal or he should not be a Secretary General on the basis that he was with a convicted criminal. And therefore, for him to point me out of 438 members who are on grace, and say I should not be a member of the ANC is very immaterial. It's bringing ANC as a third party affected with merely 5%. It's now bringing it into this thing. It's not about bringing the organization into this recruit. Fikile Mbalula is bringing the ANC into this thing. Look, during the January 8th, he was in a boat. Let me tell you, officials of the ANC, the president and the rest, they were traveling in a boat, 6 of them, to Robben Island. Fikile alone, he came with a very lavish boat owned by a foreign company. Did we say, where did you get this? And him saying, because I'm implicated, his wife in Free State, he was involved in the housing scandal, where he is a direct beneficiary because he's the husband.
That's why some of these ANC top brass, or leaders, should I say, each one of them, when they see Brown Mkhwanazi on TV or on an interview somewhere on TV, they start to have some chest pains. It's because they wonder who is Brown Mkhwanazi is going to reveal this time.
You know, he's a hangers-on. Hanging Rwaiziba, Kionai. So, hangers-on of leaders. In the story about generations, ki kapela munna. Wadi leader. Thank you very much.
Just in terms of the personal things that he has said about you, will you be taking action? How do you respond to
Of course, it's obvious. There's nothing I can say to you about the things he have said, which are false. So, my lawyers are busy with him in terms of defamatory action. He will have to prove in court. I don't have any other recourse. How do you deal with a thug which deviates from the real issue? The real issue is about his membership, which he does not have, of the ANC that he has actually expired. So he decided to draw me into thuggery. I'm not going to do that. I will deal with him through the courts, which is permissible in our country. He must then come to court and prove all those things he has talked about in a court of law, where a competent court of law will listen to both my side and his side about the allegations that he's making about. He did not even say allegations. He stated them as fact. So where have they been tested? Those particular issues that he's talking about, newspapers.
I always find it shocking how Fikile Mbalula panics so much when Brown Mkhwanazi is being mentioned, or when he sees Brown Mkhwanazi talking. Not only Brown Mkhwanazi, even General Mkhwanazi. It's amazing how Fikile Mbalula start to panic each time when Brown Mkhwanazi and General Mkhwanazi are mentioned. Especially when we mention the case of Vusi Keke. It's so amazing how Fikile Mbalula just start developing some chest pains of some sort. Remember guys, that a lot of this drug cartel and corruption that General Mkhwanazi revealed happened within the police department. And Fikile Mbalula once was a police minister, 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. And Mkhwanazi, on the other hand, has got so much files as back as 2011. Is Fikile Mbalula knows something that we don't know? That maybe he might be scared that Mkhwanazi might reveal? Well, we don't know. But think about that. Why each time Brown Mkhwanazi is on TV, General Mkhwanazi is on TV, then Fikile Mbalula starts to have sleepless nights? Why? Anyway, let me hear your comment below. And of course, if you are coming for the first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.